All right, guys, you know what time it is. Here we go. It's time for the show. Let's go. Woo! So usually when I'm coming to you guys live here, I've just finished. How long have I been teaching so far today? About an hour and a half worth of lessons. And if you're joining me live, thank you, welcome, come again. I'll see you next Monday at the same time. Or if you're just now gracing this Instagram feed with your presence, let me just give you guys a little background about who I am. I am Takenya Battle, the chief troublemaker at Kenya's Keys Voice and Piano Studio, where we provide personalized piano and vocal instruction designed to help you unleash your inner superstar. And I help private music teachers find less hustle and more harmony in their music lessons business. And I want to make sure I get those flowers right there in this shot, because this is centered around what I'm talking about today. All right? We're talking about planting seeds. I'm going to tell you right now up front, I am not a gardener. Matter of fact, my green thumb is pretty brown. I like flowers in my house, but for the most part, my house is where plants go to die. I like the idea of planting my own fruits and vegetables. I like the idea of it. However, it's the execution that I falter with, because I very much enjoy the inside of my house where the air conditioning is over being knee deep in dirt and worms. But I want to talk to you today about planting seeds, okay? So think about a seed for a second. Ooh, don't fall. Don't fall, phone. I want you to think about a seed. So a seed already has everything it needs inside of it in order for it to start growing. It's got everything it needs already on the inside. It doesn't have to go looking somewhere else, or it doesn't have to ask permission to do anything. It inherently has everything it needs on the inside. It's got a storage for food inside of it. And it even has the little baby leaves, the little first leaves that you ever see. Usually, sometimes they end up above the ground. Sometimes they don't. But the seed already has everything that it needs inside of it. And it kind of just waits for the opportunity. It waits for the opportunity to do its thing. Here's another thing about seeds. Seeds are smart. Yes, they are. Seeds are smart. A seed doesn't just start growing all willy-nilly with random and reckless abandon. It knows that it needs the right temperature, it needs the right soil, it needs the right nutrients, and it needs the right light in order for go time to be triggered. A seed knows that already. And a seed is constantly examining and observing its environment to see oh, is this the time? Is it now? Do I go now? No, not yet. Do we go now? No, not yet. A seed is smart enough to know when it's the best time for it to do its thing. So once those favorable conditions arrive, when it's go time, the seed, the first thing it does is grow roots. The first thing a seed does is grow roots. So these roots take hold first because the seed has to anchor itself. It has to ground itself. It has to make itself become stable. It has to give itself a solid foundation to stand on. That's why the roots grow first with the seed. And then once the roots have taken up residence so they can grab all those nutrients, once the roots have taken hold, the next thing that the seed does is it actually grows towards the light. Plants grow towards the light. They have strategies that they use so they can maximize their ability to capture as much light as they can, because a seed wants to be successful. A seed wants to grow. They want to thrive. They want to live. Seeds don't just wait for validation. They do their thing. And plants can, I don't know if you guys know this. I know I said before, seeds are smart. Well, as a plant, the plant can learn. He's like, the midweek Bible study. It kind of sounds like that a little bit. Plants can learn, they can communicate, they can problem solve, and they actually have memory recall. What's up, Ivan? And I'm saying all this stuff about seeds, and you may be asking, like, well, how does this relate to music? How does this relate to me as a music teacher? How does this relate to me as a music student? So for me, I want you to think about our students. When we are receiving our music students, they already have everything that they need on the inside of them in order for them to start growing. Our students are already smart. What they need is to be rooted. They love to shine in the light. They also learn, communicate, and problem solve and remember just like those plants do. Now, for us as teachers, we owe it to our students to be the best soil for them to take roots. We owe it to our students to have the best temperature, read attitude when we serve them. We owe it to our students to have the best nutrients, i.e. resources, to help them thrive. And we owe it to our students to be the sunshine that lets them bask in the afterglow. We owe that to our students. You can't be half-stepping if you out here saying that you're a piano instructor or saying that you're a brass instructor or saying that you're a voice teacher. All right, I'll see you later, Ken. So you can't half-step instructing. You can't be a half-stepper. Don't do it. What happens if you don't take care of the plant? It withers, shrivels up, and it dies. You have to take care of the seeds that we're in charge of. For me personally, this relates to me with seeds because the only reason I ever signed up for piano lessons in the first place when I was in the 4th grade was so that my cousins and I could take the same class. We just all wanted to be in the same class together. I didn't know it at that time, but the fundamental seeds for music were planted then. So all your music fundamentals, your quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, there are 7 notes in the music alphabet type thing. Those music fundamentals were planted at that time, but those seeds sprouted. By the time I was 15, I was voluntold to go and play at church. At 15 years old, I was in charge of all the music at church, like all of it. The music when the choir marched in, I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, whatever they marching in now, I don't know. I had to play that music. Time for the men's chorus to sing. I had to play that music. Time for the women's chorus to sing. I had to play that music. Time for the kids choir to sing. I had to play that music. At 15 years old, I was in charge of every iteration of music for the entire church. And I had to earn it honest. That's where I say my playing by ear seeds were planted at that time. Because you had to hurry up and catch the song. There was no time to go back and get it or rewind or hit a magic button. There was none of that. You had to do it. You had to do it right now. By the time I got to college, though, those seeds had to adapt. Those seeds had to adapt by the time I got to college. So I went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida on a full academic scholarship. There's my degree right there. But I went as a biology major. I went to college as a biology major. That don't sound like music, right? Well, lo and behold, someone, maybe my stunt double, partied that scholarship away. I sure did. I got a big fat D in chemistry. And that's not boding well for my scholarship at that point. And I had to think about what had always been inside of me up until that point. And the answer was simple. It was music. So just like those seeds had to problem solve and figure out when is the best time to do something different, that's what I had to do in college. My problem solving seeds were planted at that time. But here's what happened next. Those seeds ended up growing towards the light, changing my major from biology to music education literally changed my life. I thrived. I created more. I lived. I was finding my sunshine. I was finding my sunshine. And eventually those seeds began to blossom. I graduated college. I ended up teaching elementary music for 14 years at the same school in Dallas. And during that time, I've been able to serve well over 8,000 students. What's 600 times? Between 600 and 800 students every year for 14 years. You do the math. But I was able to serve those students because those seeds were blossoming at this point. And now I'm at a point where those seeds are bearing fruit. Because as I look around my studio and I see where my students started versus where they are now, when I look around my studio and I see students who can read music, who can improvise music, who can create music, to me, that's those seeds bearing fruit. I want to ask, how does this relate to you? Everything you need is already inside of you, just like that seed. Everything you need is already right there. But you got to have somebody who's going to nurture the seed so it knows when it's time to be rooted, to reach for the sunlight. When is it time for the seed to make a different plan? You need somebody in your corner who can do that. And that would be me. That would be me. So I'm really talking to you private music teachers out there. If you're looking for someone who can share with you the tools and systems to help you find more freedom in your day, more flexibility in how you run your music lessons program, more consistency in your income, if you're looking for someone who can show you the tools and resources that it takes to build up your music lesson studio to a point where you really ain't got to worry about it like that, get at me. DM me and ask me about the Key of Easy program. I am Takenya Battle, the chief troublemaker at Kenya's Keys Voice and Piano Studio, where we have flowers. And I help private music teachers find less hustle and more harmony in their music lessons business. See you next week for Tea with Takenya. Ta-ta for now.